Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Monday, July 25th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Reminder: we are live tonight. We talk, and we'll get into deeper into the issues of the day. Of course, the blockbuster trade involving Matthew Tkachuk, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Mackenzie Weegar. They all spoke to the media today. Where are the Canucks now? What's going on in the Canucks land after this trade? Do uh, more faith in LV, less faith in LV? Does it make any impact? We'll talk about that. We'll also hit on we'll talk about the Pierre-Luc Dubois situation as well, and we'll also talk about Hockey Canada, which is where we're going to start today. And to be honest with you, we're going to start the podcast today with Hockey Canada because it is a issue. It is the we're having the hearings this week, and as much fun as it is to talk about some of the other stuff, we have to. Hockey Canada will be in the spotlight today as they released an action plan today. Of course, as they are meeting the standing committee, a heritage committee, is meeting with Hockey Canada and reconvening the questions involving the 2018 alleged sexual assault incident, and now we have the 2003 incident that we're looking at as well. Jordan Chuchu has released a statement about that. Carla Koyakovo as well. So we'll but they released a plan this morning. Hockey Canada has, and that will. So some of the highlights of this plan include adopting the Universal Code of Conduct to prevent and address maltreatment in Sport 6.0, implementing a comprehensive tracking and reporting system for all complaints of maltreatments, abuse and harassment. Results will be published publicly and annually to hold accountable, Hockey Canada accountable, increasing and enhancing training for players, coaches, employees, and volunteers to include additional focus on masculinity, consent, and toxic behaviors, and to drive a culture in hockey that encourages all participants to speak up. A comprehensive review of all existing training programs by an independent specialist, implementing enhanced character screening for all high performance players, mandating that the breaching the code of conduct for failing to participate in any investigation could result in a lifetime ban from Hockey Canada programs, prioritizing and investing into a robust department focused on safe, inclusive sports initiatives, including combating harassment, abuse, injury prevention, mental health, and gender equality. In addition, of course, conducting an independent those announced on July 14th, 2022, conducting an independent third-party review of Hockey Canada's government structures and systems, becoming one of the first national sports organizations to become full signatory to the Office of the Sport Integrity Commissioner, OSIC, which came into effect of June 2022, and establishing a new independent and confidential mechanism for the intake of maltreatment complaints for all levels of hockey. So they have released a plan. We'll discuss the plan. I think this is going to be the comment for most people, I would imagine. We'll believe it when we see it. Lots of questions towards Hockey Canada right now, and good stuff. Let's see how this action goes. So there is that. So Hockey Canada will delve into this situation more on the podcast tonight. Matthew Tkachuk spoke to the Florida media today. He spoke a bit to the Calgary media. I spoke to Eric Francis. He gave an exclusive this weekend, then spoke to the Florida media here. He, of course, when he heard of the trade, he may have heard of this. He was at his brother's engagement party. He released a nice video yesterday thanking the city of Calgary and for the time here and saying to Calgary that this was the toughest division that he ever made. He said to Florida, "It's unbelievable waking up here, get a little bit more excitement knowing where you are." And in terms of he as far as his list, this is something he still told Eric Francis when he made the list of teams. First and foremost, it was winning. It was not just winning now, but winning in the future. All guys are from my age, 28, 29, a majority are. So that was first and foremost a very attractive part for me in the win now mode and the win in the future. Number two is lifestyle. And he's 24. He had 6 unbelievable years in Calgary, but it was the best place for me at that time. Looking ahead, of course, he signed for 8 years, but he, in his mind, for Florida, he's here for 8+. He thinks that there's also a bunch of elite players that he can be with and surrounded by. And then, as far as his reasons for Florida, he says this is a chance to help the game continue to grow. He talked about him being born in Arizona, growing up in St. Louis. He talked about having a different personality, the way he plays. He brings a certain swagger that he thinks will really help the team. And off ice, he has the same sort of personality. So he has the chance to grow the game down there. And he hopes in a few years, nobody on the team can walk outside with somebody saying something to them, kind of like some of the other places around the league. I think winning definitely helps that. So we'll take care of that on the ice. And I'm sure it's going to attract the next wave of Florida hockey players. That's a big goal of mine as well. He's not there to be the new Huberdeau. He doesn't feel pressure. And he says he hated Edmonton, but he's going to hate Tampa more now. So that was Matthew Tkachuk's comments towards the Florida media. Now, Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar spoke to Calgary media today, and both of them said that they were open to signing long-term deals with the Calgary Flames. He, of course, he still got, Huberdeau says he's open 1 year left. It's with the GM and my agent to work about. And he, of course, means that they want me. You want to play that wants you, and that's all you want. Weegar said the same thing. He's open to signing. It's been quick and it's been short so far, but there's no reason not to be open about it. He's looking forward to my agent talking to Brad, seeing what's going on. Very open to it. And as far as any other things that they said, Huberdeau also stated that he's open to getting Elias Lindholm 50 goals this year. Of course, Lindholm got 40 goals last year. And by the way, just as a side note, for those ranking centers in the National Hockey League, Elias Lindholm needs to be higher on that list than some of you. I'm going to get into that with some of you. We'll talk about that tonight because severely underrated is that. But Huberdeau excited to be a Flame, and I think Weegar excited to be a Flame, and when they sign, how they sign, all of that we'll get into that on the podcast. But they're saying everyone's saying the right things, and it's just a matter of seeing what happens here. Huberdeau is 29. JT Miller is 29. So, but they both spoke today. Huberdeau also talked about being at Stampede, dressing up like a cowboy, all that sort of stuff. Both of them basically have said the same thing in that joint press conference. Also, someone else that spoke to the media today, he signed his 1 year qualifying offer, was Pierre-Luc Dubois. Of course, there's been a lot of conjecture and speculation around the fact that he is desiring to go. He's not willing to sign to Winnipeg, and the only place that he's willing to go is Montreal. Now, interesting enough, there's a lot of reports out there that that's where Huberdeau wants to go when his contract is over, but we'll leave that for now. As far as what he had to say, he basically said if he wanted to leave Winnipeg, he would have asked for a trade. He's there. Several media tried to commit to see if he was willing to commit to the Jets long term, but he really didn't. actually. Just listening to that press conference, he's a little bit all over the place. He said if he wanted out, it would ask for trade. Not for 1 second. It didn't cross my mind to ask for a trade. As far as addressing Brissont's comments about Quebec, and as far as reports, he was at the draft. He was invited there by another group, so he joined. His dad works with the Montreal organization, so he spent some time there. He just felt that the whole situation was blown out. And he just said that was a lot of speculation. And this is a quote, to be honest, I didn't think anything too much of it. What's said sometimes is what actually happens, what's actually being in these meetings can be taken out of context, and that's how I see it. I just thought it was an overblown the reaction. I think some people just ran with the 2 seconds they liked or didn't like to hear. And he says, as far as planning it out, he says it's a very important decision that can't be made quickly. It can only be made after thinking about it, asking a long time, family, parents, girlfriend, depending on the situation. So he didn't commit to Winnipeg long term. I guess if you're an optimist, he didn't not commit to Winnipeg long term, but that's where we're at that particular point with Pierre-Luc Dubois. So that is another fascinating off-season situation that is happening. We'll get into that as well. Seattle Kraken signed Morgan Geekie to a 1-year deal yesterday. And so the Kraken slowly making a couple of moves here. They, of course, acquired a Oliver Borkstrand on the weekend as well. But Morgan Geekie is there. And of course, that was 1 year, $1.4 million deal. Of course, Geekie was acquired in this expansion draft with 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points in 73 games last year. And of course, another one is on the Anaheim Ducks, another signing. Isaac Ludestrom signed a 2-year contract with the Ducks. He avoids arbitration. He had an NHL career high in goals, assists, and points with 16 goals, 13 assists, and 29 points in 80 games for the Ducks. He's also tied the record for the most shorthanded goals in the season with the Ducks with a 4. But that was Corey Perry that originally held that record back in the 2011 season. So that covers the news for today. You can follow us all individually on Twitter. Tyler TNOBLE, Chris Schneid's SCHNEIDZ, Devin Gordhouse09. I am KEVOLE, Shifts and Pucks, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Thanks everyone for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.